Here with Dominique Petrie, who's got some California roots. We can leave the SoCal stuff out, right? Just tell me about your San Jose days.
Yeah, so it actually started at the Cupertino rink in the mall, at Valco Mall, in a sunken down rink. So I have an older brother who's 3 years older than me, and one of my dad's good friends had season tickets to the Sharks, came to a game, couple rows off the glass, legendary Mike Ritchie gets in a fight, no teeth, my brother falls in love with the game. Me being the little sister that I am, I have to do everything that he does, begging my parents to take me to the rink with him. On my third birthday, I got my first pair of skates, put them on, watched Jack the Monkey of the movie MVP, and used to do laps and laps and laps around that rink. And my parents and grandma would freeze their butt off just asking, come on, it's time to go, one more lap. And that's kind of how I started skating, and then just fell in love with the game ever since then, and have kind of been in the skates here on out, and was able to play a handful of years in the Junior Sharks organization with my brother's teams and with a couple girls' teams before my family eventually ended up moving to Southern California.
I just want to go back to the part where you said Mike Ritchie was part of your brother getting involved,
yeah,
which got you involved.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we have Mike Ritchie to thank for your professional career.
Yeah,
he's part of the inspiration. That is absolutely amazing.
You can thank his fighting days, and there's a legendary picture of my brother and I think it was for his birthday, I'm not sure whose, but we have a picture of him with like no teeth in, post-fight, on the birthday cake, and it was the happiest we'd probably ever be as little kids just having that. So yeah, thanks Mike.
Hey, congratulations, by the way, on being a PWHL champion, winning the Walter Cup, your first season, right?
Yes.
Rookie season, go right to the championship.
Yes.
What has the journey for you been like to be in that league, to be at the ground floor of something? I know the league is a couple years old, but it's still very much in its infancy. What does it mean to you to be where you're at in the professional career?
Yeah, I mean, it is honestly incredible. It's, as you mentioned, it's very new. It's something that growing up, I didn't necessarily have to look up to a professional women's league that we can play in, and to be able to be making an impact and to be paving the road for these young girls, and to be a role model they can look up to, and they know that this is the future that they can strive after. I mean, it's honestly just, I'm so blessed to be a part of it, and I'm so thankful that this league was formed, and that we're taking steps forward to put women's sports and women's hockey on the map, and to be part of this core group of women that's starting the league. I think is really incredible, and something that we'll be able, maybe right now we don't cherish it as much, but being able to look back in a few years, really be able to know the impact that we've made and what we're doing, not only for us, but for all the future generations that come after us.
It's got to be a little surreal when tomorrow night you're out there with Junior Sharks teams, coaching them up, lending them all the advice that you've got, but the fact that it's come full circle like that for you. You used to be the little kid out there.
Yeah.
How do you approach those sessions, and what are the things that you think are important to pass on? Like when we see you tomorrow night, what are the things you'll be doing and helping the kids with?
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost for me, it's just about having fun out there. Like every time that you step on the ice, you want to, yes, we want to be getting better, we want to be working on our craft, but making sure that we're having fun and we're enjoying being out there with our teammates and the friendships that we're making. And I think that's one thing that you'll definitely see. I mean, I love going out and coaching and being back with the kids, so you'll probably see a bigger smile on my face maybe than theirs, but just making sure they're having fun. And then two, just like teaching them little new tips and tricks that they can think about. You don't have to maybe necessarily want them to implement it right away, but if you leave them thinking about the game in ways that they can get better, and okay, what is that? How can I approach that situation in a game? How can I try out new things in practice? And just giving them little tips and tricks to try out and think about, and then really letting like their creativity go, and being able to play the game in a creative mindset and kind of become the players that they want to be, and just forge their own path with whatever it is that they're doing in ice hockey. I think is really cool and really special. And yeah, you mentioned it's a full circle moment, and I think for myself, probably once I step foot on that ice again, it's gonna really sink in and hit. But it's just very special to be able to come back and give to the game that's given me so much, and to be able to do it at the place that really got started for me. I think it's very special, and I just say to stay present in the moment, because that's kind of where all the magic happens.
What a great answer. I heard the kids call it the P-Dub.
Yeah.
I'm old, so I call it PWHL.
The P-Dub it is.
Where do you see the P-Dub in 20 years?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a handful more teams, obviously across the U.S., across Canada. I would love eventually there to be a farm system similar to the AHL where players can go and develop their games too before making an impact. But I just think that you're going to see more and more women playing in the PW, and hopefully the trickle-down effect is more and more young girls and young boys are putting on the skates and getting involved in the game. And I'm a firm believer, once you're in the skates, the game sells itself, but really just to continue to have that growth of hockey throughout the whole country and the whole North American continent, and then even hopefully like Sweden and Europe, that the game continues to grow over there, and what we're doing here has ripple effects over across the seas as well.
You know, we can talk about your career, which is still very much in its infancy. I think you got a lot of years ahead of you. But we can also glamorize the success. I mean, look at, you've already won a championship, and you're already making steps to probably several more. But what are the pieces of adversity that you've had in your career already that maybe people aren't aware of, or you don't share much about, or it's not easy? It's not always easy, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot behind the scenes. What would be some of the things you could tell us about?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first one that comes to mind is after I graduated from Harvard, heading into my first grad year at Clarkson University, I was with the U.S. collegiate team and ended up taking a knee-on-knee hit and actually blew out my ACL and broke my tibia. And I had injuries in the past, but this obviously was a little bit of a different beast.
Yeah.
It took me out for a full year plus, basically. And obviously lots of rehab, lots of grind, kind of figuring out what it is that you want. And I think for me, one of the biggest things is when you step away from the game, it makes you appreciate the game a lot more and appreciate what it gives you. And I think from that moment forward, it was kind of like, I'm going to do everything I can to reach my ceiling in hockey. And until you reach that, which is kind of feels like it's an infinitely growing ceiling with the way that the game is developing and evolving and how many more skills there are to be learned and to just continue growing. I was just like, I want it all, and I don't want it to stop. But yeah, I think that was probably one of the big ones. And then obviously too, just throughout my years, getting cut from teams has always been a challenge and something that's difficult that I think happens to a lot of players, but you don't always talk about a lot. But I'm a firm believer that there's a lesson to be learned in everything. And if you really kind of approach it with that, it's not a failure, but it's a way to learn and to get better and to adjust and adapt and to keep growing yourself as a person and as a hockey player. There's a lot to be learned in those opportunities of one door closing and another one opening.
Chips on shoulders can do good things if you focus that energy the right way.
Yes.
Okay, hey, last thing we got to talk about the Sharks. I love your sweatshirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Love the fact that you showed up with that.
Yes.
What do you think about where this team's at, where this franchise is at? There's certainly some very interesting pieces going on right now with the kids, you know? What do you think about the team?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I've been a Sharks fan ever since I can remember, through the good days, through the bad days. But I'm really excited about this team. I think that they've got a really good, strong, young talent core. And watching them play when they're firing is a lot of fun. I know sometimes it can still be a little bit hard when it doesn't necessarily always equate on the score sheet, but even the games that I've been able to watch this year, it's like, okay, we've got a lot of pieces here, like putting the pieces of the puzzle together and just keep driving the ship forward. And obviously it's not something that happens overnight, but I think too, with a lot of the young talent, like you're getting a lot of the young kids starting to pay attention to the Sharks and who they are and what we're doing out here in San Jose. So it's exciting, and hopefully some more people see that the future is teal and that they start jumping on board now, but we'll take them whenever they want to join.
It's nice to get that insight from a pro hockey player, not a dummy like me, just to confirm that I'm seeing what you're seeing, and that's a very good thing. It's been so nice to talk to you. I wish you the best of luck this next season, all the seasons to come. Dominique, thank you for the chat.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.